Hi, I'm Dr. Rutherford. I'm a certified functional medicine practitioner.
Dr. Randall Gates, board certified chiropractic neurologist, also a chiropractor. Dr. Rutherford's
We say that
chiropractor.
every time,
We
even
do.
though you're our patients. He makes me say that, like you don't know who
Because
we
somebody
are.
else may be watching, and I just like to sleep at night, and I
Okay.
do sleep well. So
There you go. So we've got it loud and clear. You're tired of hearing about diet. You will hear about it again in the future because it is critical. But today we're going to talk about be ready for cold and flu season from our resident germaphobe, Dr. Gates, who washes his hands more than anybody I've ever seen. And this is, but in all seriousness, this is an important topic. And it's really an important topic because our goal is once you have gotten through the program, or in this particular case, many of you who are on the program right now, most of you have immune problems and your immune system is somewhat compromised. Now, one of the major goals of this problem is to dampen down the attack on your immune system and then teach you how to control it. There will be times in life where your immune system will be broached and attacked. Some of you, when you get under stress, if you get a trauma, if you get if you have a surgery, these things are times when you should be on high alert. And if your symptoms start to come back, you shouldn't freak out. You shouldn't get up. You should just know, okay, here's what I need to do. I need to go make sure I'm doing everything right in the gut and just doing your program and knowing that you'll be okay in a little bit, in a couple of days or something like that. And so this is cold and flu season. We might mention what we just said before we got on here about the vitamin D too.
I am. I'm going to bring that
Okay,
up.
I didn't know that because I did rather well in cold and flu season last year, and I was accidentally taking.
Well, let's just say he was taking a very, very high dose of vitamin D, higher than recommended, accidentally, but he never got sick. So it was.
I didn't look at the bottle, and I was taking too much, and I was the one person around here who basically didn't get sick.
And everybody else was sick
last year. So anyway, so colds and flu season.
This is one of my least favorite times of the year to be in practice because we have basically a practice of autoimmune disease patients. And inevitably, this is the time of year when kids go back to school. There are a ton of infections, viruses that can be circulating throughout these public schools, private schools. And they're brought home to the parents, who are frequently our patients, who then are doing really well with their treatment, and they have autoimmune disease and they get sick. And it can frequently lead to an exacerbation. It's typically not long-term, but it's an exacerbation. So we're doing a preemptive strike on this. So for all of you out there, cold and flu season is starting. And what you need to be attentive to is that when you're touching door handles, shaking hands, things of that nature, that you may be transferring viruses. Not necessarily a bad thing, but if you touch your eyes, or if you touch your mouth, touch your nose, these are common entries for these cold and flu viruses to get into our system. And frequently they can even stay there and not be a problem until you go through maybe a stress. And once we're under stress, that can imbalance our immune system, such that now these viruses can start replicating and cause you to come down with the symptoms of a cold or a flu. And so it's important just to be conscientious of this. I get made fun of for being a germaphobe, largely because I'm trying not to spread infections throughout the office, because that can be done. So I try to wash my hands frequently in between patients.
And he does.
And I do for that purpose. And we're also even becoming more attentive now when patients are sick. We may not even do treatment that day because everybody else in the treatment area may get exposed to it. And a lot of our patients have sensitive immune issues. Vitamin D is also critical. So for those of you out there on maintenance, it's important for you to get your vitamin D levels checked. We can check them, or your GP can check them. And you need to have the right dose of vitamin D titrated for you. Frequently recommended doses of vitamin D are too low for our autoimmune patients because your immune system is chewing up the vitamin D already. And so you may be out in the sun, but your vitamin D can be lower. You can be taking 2,000 IUs of vitamin D, and that can be far insufficient for what you need. So we just recommend that you be attentive to the vitamin D issue as well. And with that and stress reduction and good hygiene, we are hoping that you have a less burdensome cold and flu season. If you have a 6-year-old and younger, good luck. Because I've noticed that these little kids, they're involved in everything. I have a niece that's 4 years old, and they just bring home everything. So the parents are pretty much up a creek. But other than that, just be attentive, be aware, and do your best. So we didn't talk about diet this week. So we've
There you go.
gotten some comments that you guys are talking about diet too much. And you know what, we were, because it needed to be talked about to that degree. But we'll talk about it again. And any topics that you want to hear, please let us know. If you have a question, if you want an idea, just know also, the one thing I will say about diet is, I haven't even talked to you about this yet. I made a contact this weekend for potentially someone to make grain-free bread on a distribution level. And so we are lining that up for our patients, those of you who want garbanzo bean flour bread or almond flour bread. And I'm also still trying to line up more recipes from some of our stellar baking patients, so to speak. So that's our tip of the week.
There you go.
Thank you for watching.
Okay. We'll see you next week.
We will see you next week.
Okay.